rolling. This is City Commission, Monday, September the 9th, 2024. The time is 5:30. I'll call the meeting to order. Would you please rise for the invocation and a pledge? Heavenly Father, we ask that you watch over this group tonight, that you help us to make good decisions for the city of Leesburg. We do that in your name. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This evening we have a couple of proclamations, so we'll start with the first. Whereas childhood cancer is the leading cause of death by disease in children, 1 in 285 children in the United States will be diagnosed by their 20th birthday, and 46 children per day, or 16,790 children per year, are diagnosed with cancer in the United States. And the average age of diagnosis is 6 years old. And whereas 80% of childhood cancer patients are diagnosed late and with metastatic disease, on average, there has been a 0.6% increase in incidence per year since the mid-1970s, resulting in an overall incidence increase of 24% over the last 40 years. And whereas two-thirds of childhood cancer patients will have chronic health conditions as a result of their treatment toxicity, with 1/4 being classified as severe to life-threatening, and approximately 1/2 of the childhood cancer families rate the associated financial toxicity due to out-of-pocket expenses as considerable to severe. And whereas in the last 30 years, only 6 new drugs have been approved by the FDA to specifically treat childhood cancer, and the National Cancer Institute recognizes the unique research needs of childhood cancer and the associated need for increased funding to carry this out. And whereas hundreds of nonprofit organizations at the local and national level, including the American Childhood Cancer Organization, are helping children with cancer and their families cope through educational, emotional, and financial support. And whereas researchers and healthcare professionals work diligently, dedicating their expertise to treat and cure children with cancer, and whereas too many children are affected by this deadly disease, and more must be done to raise awareness and find a cure. Now, therefore, I, James A. Burry Jr., Mayor of the City of Leesburg, Florida, do hereby proclaim September 2024 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and encourage all residents to support this cause that so deeply impacts families in every community across the nation. Come on up. Let's go up there, guys. We want to get a picture of everybody. Our second proclamation is the Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas Hispanic Heritage Month is observed each year from September 15th through October 15th to recognize and commend the histories, culture, and contributions of people from Spain, Mexico, and the Caribbean, and Central and South America. And whereas during Hispanic Heritage Month, we celebrate the rich and vibrant traditions of Hispanic culture, honor the invaluable ways Hispanics contribute to our common goals and work toward a stronger, more inclusive, and more prosperous society for all. And whereas the observance of Hispanic Heritage Month is an important reminder of the need for continued efforts to promote inclusivity, equality, and opportunity for all, reflecting on the values of justice and fairness that are the foundation of our democracy. And whereas Hispanic Heritage Month provides an opportunity for all Americans to recognize the enduring cultural influences and historical significance of the Hispanic and Latino community and their contributions to the fields of science, arts, education, government, business, literature, cuisine, music, sports, and countless others. And whereas Hispanics and Latinos continue to enhance our city's character, shape our common future, and affirm the narrative of American unity and progress. And whereas it is fitting that we acknowledge the achievements and contributions of Hispanics and Latino Americans with appropriate activities and programs that honor their legacy and promote understanding of the cultural heritage that they represent. Now, therefore, I, James A. Burry, Jr., Mayor of the City of Leesburg, Florida, do hereby proclaim September the 15th through October the 24th, 2024, as Hispanic Heritage Month, and encourage our citizens to observe this month with programs, activities, and ceremonies that celebrate Hispanic culture, heritage, and the extraordinary achievements of the Hispanic Americans throughout our history. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll now move on to presentations. We'll begin with certificates to our Miss Leesburg winners. Got them stacked for me. Thank you, Andy. All righty. So I think what we'll do, when I read your name, if you just stand up and wave to the crowd so they know who's who, and then once we've done them all, we're going to get you all up here for a picture, okay? All righty. So we'll start with Miss Leesburg is Madison Rowland. Teen Miss is Claire Carlton. Junior Miss is Harper Ritchie. Little Miss is Lexi Blasky. And Tiny Miss is Michaela O'Neill. So if you guys would just come right up here. Here we go. So Miss Madison's. Okay, here we go. Open them up and see who's who. Perfect. Lexi. Okay, you must be you. So just open them up so they can see. Just like that.
There we go.
There you go. All right. There you go.
They know what to do. One more. Yeah. There you go. There you go.
All right. Congratulations. What's up? Okay.
Hi, I'm Madison Rowland, your Miss Leesburg. On behalf of me and my pageant sisters, we just want to thank the city for allowing us to represent our city this year. It's been an honor and a privilege, and just thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, okay. So, Melissa? Ta-da! We have Employee Service Award recognitions.
Thank you. Melissa Arriaga, Director of Human Resources. It is a pleasure always to be here in front of the mayor and commissioners to recognize our employees. We have quite a few, and some with some very long years of service. So we'll get started with our 5-year employees. We'd like to start with recognizing our systems analyst in the IT department. Mr. Christopher Eagle has been with us for 5 years. Congratulations. Congratulations, Chris. Next, we'd like to recognize our deputy building official, Mr. Ricky Howe, has been with us also 5 years. Congratulations.
She already said. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ricky. Next, we'd like to recognize our Director of Electric, Mr. Brad Chase, has been with us for 5 years. And another director, Director of Public Works, Mr. Cliff Kelsey, has been with us for 5 years. Congrats. Now on to our 10-year award. We'd like to recognize a smiley face we see, a pleasant person we see all the time at the front desk of customer service, Miss Lisa Robinson, admin assistant 2. Congratulations. Next, on to our 25-year awards. This employee has served in the police department during her entire career with the city. Miss Alana Swafford is an evidence technician for the police department. 25 years.
Thank you. Yeah, it's up today. Thank you.
Congratulations, Alana. Next, on to our 35-year awards. This employee started his career in the Public Works Department. He currently serves in the Gas Department for the last 19 years as our gas measurement and cathodic protection technician, Mr. Andrew Tim Allen. Congratulations. Congrats. Another 35-year employee. He served in the Recreation Department his entire career, primarily taking care of the Pat Thomas Stadium. Mr. Michael Thompson, he's our athletic fields lead.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And another milestone, 40 years, we have Mr. Randy Mort. He started his career with the city in the Recreation Department, now in Public Works as a lead plant operator. 40 years. Congratulations. Congratulations, Randy. Thank you.
Right here.
Harper.
At this time, we'll move on to item number 4 is public comment. This section is reserved for members of the public to bring up matters of concern or opportunities for praise. Issues brought up will not be discussed in detail at this meeting. Issues will either be referred to the proper staff or will be scheduled for consideration at a future City Commission meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, and would you please give your name and your address when you come up? Do we have any public comment?
Bill Polk, 600 Cascade Avenue, Leesburg, Florida. I just wanted to thank the city for helping me today. A big tree fell from my yard into the road in Cascade and 6th Avenue, and they were Johnny on the spot getting out there, did a great job, and it looked like it was about cleaned up when I left there. They worked through the rain and did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Hello, everyone. My name's Gary McKechnie. I live at 729 South 9th Street. My wife and I just moved here from Mount Dora, and I just wanted to compliment the Public Works and Customer Services departments. When, like this gentleman, when the tree limbs were overhanging 9th Avenue, my wife made a call, and these guys were out the next day. She made another call when the trees in Palmora Park were getting a little bit too big. They came out even before she hung up the phone, and they were out there trimming the trees. When some of the street lights were out, she made another call. You notice she makes all the calls? She made another call, and just the other day, the utility truck was there, and those guys were replacing light bulbs. When the street sweeper is always going up and down the street, it's incredible to see how efficient your public works department is. When we moved here, the customer service people were exemplary. They were great, helping us because we had to get building permits to do a lot of the work on the house we're renovating. And every single one of them, they were just perfect, giving us all the information that we needed when we'd follow up. They made the instructions clear, provided us with information, what we needed to provide. So anyway, just a really good job all the way around. And an especially good job on picking those Miss Leesburg contestants. They were fantastic. So thanks very much. I appreciate your work.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other public comment?
Good evening. Gary Custer, 8909 East Treasure Island Avenue, Leesburg. I spoke to you guys in July 2023 about Silver Lake Point and the water running out on the road. It ain't any better. You told me, and Mr. Peterson told me, that it would be taken care of, that they would figure out what the problem is. The problem is they got the drains on the outside, on the entrance, and the water runs down the inside. The low spot is the center. The water runs out onto 44, it floods 44, it runs down the hill, and it's running into another individual's property at the bottom of the hill. It hasn't improved. It's still, every time it rains, and one of the excuses was that a truck dumped part of its load, and that's why all the sand and silt was washing down the road. I drove truck for 48 years, and in 48 years, I never saw that happen. But, not saying it couldn't. So, that was the excuse, but apparently a truck dumps part of its load every time it rains, because every time it rains, it washes the sand and silt down to the bottom of the hill. I don't know if there's any way of fixing it. We met with Cliff Kelsey. We did a Zoom meeting with him. He met with the developer, and apparently nobody wants to just shut them down and just say, you got to stop until you fix the problem. It's going to be an expensive fix now because they're going to have to put in another storm drain in the center. So the water runs where it's supposed to into the storm drains. It doesn't even hit the storm drains. There's one more storm drain down the hill that they put in, and that storm drain is above the level of the road. No water can run into it. I mean, you can look at it and see that. So it's a problem that needs to be fixed. Somebody at some point when there's a heavy rain is going to come down 44 and they're going to hydroplane and there's going to be a heck of an accident. The traffic keeps getting worse and worse. Our confidence in the ability to solve these problems with Treasure Trove, with Silver Lake Woods, and with Orange Bend coming online in those areas is minimal. If you can't handle this problem, what problem can you handle? The city just needs to get tough with the developers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? We'll move on to item 5, the consent agenda. Routine items are placed on the consent agenda to expedite the meeting. If the commission or staff wishes to discuss any item, the procedure is as follows. 1, pull the item or items from the consent agenda. 2, vote on the remaining items with 1 roll call vote. And 3, discuss each pulled item and vote by roll call. Are there any items anyone would like to pull?
5B1.
5B1. Anything else?
5C5.
5C5. Any others?
Make a motion to approve all remaining items.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Eastman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. Someone please introduce 5B1.
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a services agreement with High Performance Technologies, LLC, for the installation of an upgraded IT infrastructure that integrates with the city's existing system and providing an effective date.
For approval.
Second.
All right, discussion.
I'm the one who pulled it. I just wanted clarification. The numbers didn't add up. I mean, I'm fine with how the bid was given out, but in the narrative it says, well, in the chart it has it shows a lower number, which would win at 580 total. And then to the right, you've got the 129, which mathematically goes to 649, which is the number used in the narrative. So I was just looking for clarification.
What page is it?
Mike Andrews, Network Manager. My understanding is that's just the addition of the leasing fees, that the 580 was the cost of the equipment, and that the fees over the term of the lease are what breaks us down to the 129 a year.
Okay. As long as if you're okay with it, I'm okay with it.
Yes, sir. We're
okay.
pretty happy with it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Eastman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. Someone please introduce 5C5.
I'll introduce 5C5 to be read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a commercial lease agreement between the City of Leesburg and the Melon Patch Players, Inc., and providing an effective date.
For approval.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, I have several questions on this. We purchased this property 3 or 4 months ago for $2.4 million, I believe. And that doesn't even take into effect all the other stuff that went along with this to tear down another building and build another building and all this other stuff. But anyway, we'll just go with the 2.4. And now we want to lease it out for 50-year lease for $3,000 a year for 50 years. So you're going to get $150,000 back on your $2.4 million investment over 50 years, and we're responsible to maintain the building? It's a terrible deal.
The outer structure, I think. The
it
lease called for everything inside for the
But
Yeah, the structural stuff, sort of the heavy lifting, I guess, in a sense, would be the city. Yes, sir, that's right.
okay, but so you're getting $3,000 back on your $2.4 million investment, and you still got to maintain the outside of the structure. I mean, I just don't think this is a very good, and then tying this building up for 50 years. I mean, we could never do nothing with it for 50 years. I mean, you couldn't sell it. Nobody's going to buy a building with a tenant in there who only pays $3,000 a year, and they're still responsible for the outside structure. I just think this is a horrible financial deal for the city. Absolutely awful.
Any comments?
Look, I don't want to be the bastion of the proponent here, but I think the larger concept, when the lease that's before the commission is not a surprise. It shouldn't be anyway. When we discussed the Tropic purchase 2-3 months ago, we talked about its use concepts. And the use concept was at that time was going to be threefold, with the events division, the melon patch, and to come the art center, so we could shift things around at the other place there on Magnolia with addressing parking concerns, which we talked ad nauseum during the budget process. I don't think the commission or the community ever saw this as a profit center. I think the concept was to purchase a facility that would become a city asset that would help bolster actions and recreation and a drawing card to the downtown. So therein lies the concept. I won't disagree with Commissioner Cannell's remarks as far as financially. No, the numbers don't add up. But I think when we endeavored into this project, we weren't looking at numbers. We were looking at cultural arts, a facility to house not-for-profit organizations, providing not-for-profit organizations with a similar lease terms to what they currently have. The example would be the Art Center is in the current city facility for no payment. The partnership was in that facility for years with no payment. And contrary, again, the numbers aren't horrible, but the Melon Patch is actually probably one of the first not-for-profit agencies actually bringing money to the table, albeit, in the long term, not a whole lot, but it's more than probably any other not-for-profit deal that we've done. So again, I don't think the judgment here is based on the financial dollars, but the intrinsic value that it brings the community, and the commission will vote the way you think is best for that program.
Why does it need to be a 50-year lease?
We talked in ad nauseum about that, at least on a staff level between myself and Melon Patch. Melon Patch has given up a current facility that they're in with no cost to them other than maintenance costs. It is in a bit of disrepair. They'd like a place that's larger, that holds more people, and that is in the downtown, is attractive to them. So they feel that they're selling their facility. It's under contract now, so they wanted this long-term security of having a lease. $150,000 to the Melon Patch is a considerable sum, so they wanted security behind the deal.
Well, $150,000, but it's over 50 years. I mean, so that's $3,000 a year. I mean, they're wanting to move, so I don't know why we're giving them such a sweetheart deal here on this building. And, like I said, by us just buying it several months ago, we just removed it from the tax roll. So there's a reoccurring loss of money every year, too, by acquiring the building. And now we're practically giving it away, and we still have to maintain the exterior. This deal makes absolutely no financial common sense at all. No, I mean, it just doesn't.
Any other comments?
I think this is part of our master plan for downtown, and I don't disagree with you, Commissioner Connell, about the cost, but I correlate this to, we as a city provide a lot of assets around our city, whether it be sports facilities, Pat Thomas. There's multiple organizations that don't pay a fee to play there as well. So I think we as a city need to be responsible and provide other avenues for our residents to enjoy, whether it be sports or the arts, whether it be the art center or theater. I think this is going to be a huge asset to our downtown. It'll bring even more traffic and people to our downtown to support our downtown, and I think it's a great thing for our city.
Any other comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
No.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. Move on to item 6, public hearings and non-routine items. We'll start with 6A, second reading of ordinances. Would someone please introduce 6A1?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, amending the City of Leesburg Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Element to establish the Sunnyside Estates objective and policies previously set forth in Resolution 7158 and known as the Sunnyside Task Force Study Report for properties generally located in sections 19, 20, 21, 28, 29, 30, and 32, Township 19 South, Range 25 East, Lake County, Florida, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
All right, discussion. Dan, would you come up and just give us a brief summary of this, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Dan Miller, Planning and Zoning. You have before you 3 amendments regarding the Sunnyside area. The first one, which is 6A1, will establish the Sunnyside Estates future land use category in the comprehensive plan text. That will contain an objective and 6 policies. And it will also establish residential densities that are compatible with the Sunnyside Estates area of the city. And it is consistent with Resolution 7158, which was the Sunnyside Task Force study originally done back in 2005. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Is there any public comment on this? Any other comments from the commissioner? Roll call.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. Someone please introduce 6A2.
I'll introduce 6A2 to be read by title only.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, amending the comprehensive plan future land use map by redesignating the future land use designation of certain property from low-density residential, high-density residential, and estate residential to Sunnyside Estates, SE, for properties generally located in sections 19, 20, 21, 28, 29, 30, and 32, Township 19 South, Range 25 East, Lake County, Florida, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion. Anything to add, Dan?
No, sir, this is just the future land use map amendment that goes along with it.
Gotcha. Any questions from the commissioners? Any public comment on this? Roll call.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. Someone please introduce 6A3.
I'll introduce 6A3 to be read by title only.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, amending Part 2, Chapter 25 of the Municipal Code, adding Section 25-269, parentheses 3, future land use districts, and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion.
Third of 3 items, this adds the Sunnyside information into our land development regulations, Chapter 25.
Thank you, Dan. Any questions for Dan on that? Any public comment on it? Any commissioners have any? Roll call.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. Would someone please introduce 6B1?
I'll introduce 6B read by title only.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, amending the city's comprehensive plan future land use element, transportation element, housing element, sanitary sewer element, potable water element, solid waste element, drainage element, aquifer recharge element, conservation element, recreation and open space element, intergovernmental coordination element, capital improvements element, aviation element, property rights element under the procedures established in sections 163.3184, parentheses 2 and parentheses 4, and to comply with sections 163 and 373 of the Florida statutes related to water supply planning requirements by amending the Water Supply Facility Work Plan and incorporating the water supply facility work plan as an appendix to the potable water element and providing an effective date.
This is a first reading, so do we have time? Get sent to the state, and so we don't know.
Yeah, this does get sent to the state.
Yes.
Probably a little bit longer review than normal. Dan, you anticipate it coming back November, December timeframe?
Yes, sir. We anticipate a 60-day turnaround from the state, and we hoping for the first meeting in December or as soon as possible thereafter for the second reading.
So obviously, it's a pretty big report. It was presented to the commission a couple of weeks ago anyway. We didn't sneak it in the packet on you. I think it's about 800 and some odd pages. So I will save all sarcasm, because this is honestly the comprehensive plan is probably one of the most important documents that the city works with. And obviously, you guys deal with a lot of growth issues, and so this is actually one of the biggest documents we work with, so it's pretty comprehensive. We will probably need to get it up on the website, which
Yes,
it's
sir.
not up yet.
We will do that.
So we'll work with IT on that. Public copies are available now. Either contact my office or the Planning and Zoning office. This did go through review of the Planning and Zoning Board. I believe they looked at it last month
That's
with
correct.
the 7-0 recommendation to approve. So you guys have at least a couple more months to read the 800 pages. When we go through this on second reading, we'll have Dan give like a 15-minute synopsis of the 800 pages ASAP, just to break down the most important things. Really, one of the most important things in there is the Sunnyside plan, which implements the rural nature there on Sunnyside, and it does a few other things. Obviously, with the water conservation is a big part. We don't look at that section often, but Cliff and the water districts, that's a significant part of the plan. So, to the state, as soon as it gets back, look for late November, first part of December for final adoption. And again, any questions, contact the Planning and Zoning Office or my office, and we'll get it up on the website for additional dissemination.
I just had two comments for Dan, or well, one comment and then one's kind of a question of the commission and Al. Not a big deal. I did read it, Dan. It was took a little extra coffee to get through this one. But on page 190, it was on the well, the bottom line is there was a box that said no designated bike trails. And I just thought of our rails to trail, or no designated bike paths. And it talked about it elsewhere. I mean, I know we have the rails to trails, other things going on. That was just more probably a typo. Just want to bring that to your attention.
That sounds like a typo.
I just want to bring that to your attention.
You said page 190?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And-
I will look into that, and we'll have it corrected.
And then this is probably more a question of the city manager, but I was surprised when in the housing section, I don't remember which page, but they talk about definition of substandard housing, inadequate plumbing, all these crazy things. And we were at 5.5%. The county's at 3.5. I was just surprised we were that high. We talked about that before. I know we have issues getting into houses legally and things like that. I just wanted to bring that to the commission's attention. That was kind of a surprise. Not a criticism, just a surprise to me.
Is that based on the entire city?
I'm guessing entire city. We also had a higher percentage of renters versus owned, but I guess that's total housing, I'm sure.
It's both statistics are citywide.
Okay. So when I read the definition of substandard, I was just a little taken back by that one. So that's all I had. Thank you.
And just for the public information, each 10 years, roughly, cities are required to go through this process of addressing the comp plan to make changes that they deem are necessary to meet the needs of their city. So this is we're around that time frame with this, and that's the main purpose of it. I would encourage everyone that's interested, go read it. If you don't like something in it, because that is what, when people come and want to develop in Leesburg, this is the document that they use that to do that development. And if their ideas are within the comp plan, then we got to pretty much do.
We got to do it.
Got to do what they want to do. So this will give you an opportunity. Like we say, you're going to have couple of months at least before this gets back from the state. But I would encourage everyone to read it. If you don't like something in it, let us know. And, that's how you get things changed.
I'd like to add one thing. I'd like to say kudos to the planning and zoning team, the committee, and the department of great work. The look of it looks really good. It's very easy to follow, to acknowledge what specifics you're looking for. And the consultants, would like to also add, they were really good in presenting and getting everyone on board to give
thank you
your
for that.
ideas and everything. So
Our
thank you for
consultant
it.
team was Calvin Giordano and Associates.
Yeah.
They do a lot of local government work. Alyssa Livingstone is here representing them tonight, and they did a fantastic job. And my team, my project manager, Candy Harper, and Max Van Allen, who's a planner on the staff, they did some fantastic work on this. So I do appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
I got a question.
If you'd like to come up, please.
For Dan, basically, I guess. So this is the second reading, correct?
No.
First reading.
First reading.
Oh, you're on the first reading?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that one. Okay. So you got time to change it then?
Correct. Yeah. That's why we want everyone to read it. All right. Would someone please introduce 6B2?
I'll introduce 6B2 to be read by title only.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, vacating and abandoning a portion of the improved right-of-way of 13th Street located between Center Street and West Main Street in Leesburg, Lake County, Florida, providing for conditions, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
This is the first reading. We will have a second reading. Do we have time certain on that?
Second reading is this 23rd.
23rd, yes, sir.
Be the 23rd. If there is anyone, Commission, anyone have comment on this?
I just have one question. Was there any communication with the residents on Line Street to the
No direct communication other than the advertisement.
advertisements, and I assume signs were put up and so
No
forth?
signs were put up. If you would like some additional communication done between now and the 23rd, we can have that done.
I mean, I support this. I understand what the church is trying to do and support this campus. I just don't want these residents. I don't know. Commissioner Reisman commented last time that I would put words in his mouth that that some of them could like it. I mean, it could stop through traffic, but I guess that's the only question I have.
We can get some similar signs out like when we do the zoning stuff. We can get those signs
Yeah, I
put
think
up.
those residents probably deserve that. I'd hate for them to find out after the fact.
Good idea.
I would like to add one question, please. So when you're coming on Center Street from the 14th Street to the 13th, the only entrance and exit would be 27, right? 14 to get in and out, unless you turn left on 13th.
Correct.
Only
Yes.
turn left.
Yep, you won't be able to.
So those homes that are right there on Center Street, their only exit and inbound would be 27 or go around to 13th Street. Am I correct in saying that? I think so. Okay.
Which would then take them down to Webster and
Yes,
Perkins
yes,
if
yes,
they were
yes.
trying to get on Main,
Okay.
basically. And do those have
And-
those homes on
We'll
Center
get,
Street?
so
Let's
we'll
get-
get center
I would like
and
to
line.
add those people
that's a good
on
idea.
that street as well. And then one more thing, I just want to be clear, just trying to visualize it. The only traffic light then would be from 14th is right at the Palm Plaza before the new coffee brewer place, correct?
Center and 27.
But it's no thorough street to
Center
go
and
to
Palm
the,
Plaza, and then
yeah, so it's no thorough street to get to the Catholic church. You would have to go around, correct?
No,
you
to get
cannot
to,
get from Main Street.
No, 14th.
So if you're on 14th and you want to go to where?
If you go, there's no through street from 14th now to the Catholic Church, St. Paul's.
so you could still get to so if you're going up Center, or you're going up 27 or coming off Center, you can still go to Center.
Oh, make the
right?
left.
And then you make a
Gotcha.
left, and then that'll bend you
Got
around
it.
to the Catholic
Got
Church.
it, got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Do we have any public comment on this?
Bill Polk, 600 Cascade Avenue, also own property on 406 North 13th Street. Bad idea, guys. Nobody's thought this through. I don't know if the lawyers even looked it up. We have the city have already closed from Line Street to Main Street. That's been closed for 3 to 4 years. Line Street is what she was talking about, identifying those people that are going to use that road. So Line Street to Main Street's been closed for 3 to 4 years.
You mean on 13th?
On 13th Street, yes. It's been closed for 3 to 4 years. The church has not done one thing to, on their plan that they brought to the city. This is, I don't know if it's when I was on here or after I was on here, but I'm very familiar with it because I had a lawyer down here fighting it because they wanted to close the whole road. And I wasn't, you know, we own both sides of the road on 13th Street. And right now, she's correct. If you want to come from 27 to go to the Catholic Church, the only way you'll be able to get there is come down Center Street, turn left on 13th Street, and go to the Catholic Church. And most of those people do that now. That's kind of become a thing now because the slow traffic by the church. The church has not thought this process out. They've had 3 to 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, to do something with 13th Street from Line Street to Main Street, have done nothing. So they haven't even tried to do anything there. They have this grandiose plan they brought to the city, and it must have been when I was on there because I remember it like night and day. And they have done zero. I mean, I agree with Mr. Peterson there about how great the church is and all that stuff. I go there, so I know about the church. But they have the traffic backs up in the morning from 7:45 till 8:15 every morning beyond my office, which is past the bike trail, all the way down to almost Sunshine Avenue or Webster Street. And the speeders, which Art has talked about, are mostly the people going to school in the morning trying to get their kid there before they're late. And during the day, after about 8:15, there's hardly any traffic on that road at all on 13th Street. Very, very little traffic there. The Catholic Church meets at 9 o'clock or something. They all come down Center Street, turn left, and go to the church. But to close, I don't want to close from Center Street to Line Street because the people on Line Street, they use that road to come to 13th Street, come down, turn left on Center Street, and go to Publix. That's the only light they have to get out on the highway there. Otherwise, they got to go to Main Street, where down 12th Street, they got to turn around because there's people right there by the church. They got to turn around and go backwards to get to, say, Publix or anywhere on 27. So if you want to close it, you already got it closed from Line Street to Main Street. If you look up your records, it's already been done. So I'm totally against closing from Center Street to Line Street. I think it's going to cause traffic problems. It's going to cause problems for people on Line Street, 12th Street, and all the people that are going out to 27 when they want to go shopping or wherever they want to go. And also the people that are going to go to the Catholic Church and pray every morning, because they do every morning. But from 7:45 to 8:15, the traffic's terrible. I can't even get out of my office if I want to leave there. And from about 2:45 till 3:15, same thing. They're backed up. All the nice vehicles are backed up there waiting for the kid to get out of there. And if I'm late coming to work down Line Street, I cannot get out onto 13th Street right now to get to my office. So, it's almost, I have to change my schedule about every day. So if you want to close it from Line Street to Main Street, it's already closed. The rest of it, I understand they're going to have they bought the melon patch. They're going to use the melon patch. They're worried about the traffic. They've done nothing to do anything to what they've already had approval to do. When who was the manager of the Public Works back then?
DC.
DC was here. He explained the whole thing. He went through the whole thing.
Vaguely. We'll have to double check the
you can look back up when DC was here. And
I remember that we had the conversation, and you may be right. We may have closed it.
Big conversation.
We'll double check it.
I don't know if there was a time frame on it and it ran out, but they never did any of their plan. They went to California with 3 people to look up this grandiose plan and had somebody come up with a great big plan. They put it up on the board and showed everybody the plan. Everybody's excited about it, and nothing ever happened. So now they want to do this. That's fine, but it's going to cause traffic problems right there to get to 27. I don't care if, you can't even go down there when the school, they got cones out and the kids are crossing the road, and anybody with a brain's not going to go there anyway. But most of the people that are driving down 13th Street, the speeders are the people that go to the church. I hate to say that, but they are the people that go to the church. Because you can look at the moms and their faces are like eyes about to bug out, and they're going to church. You're trying to get their kid there before he's late. So, think about this. There's no plan right now. So to just say we're going to close it, there's no traffic plan. Even if you close to Center Street, it's not going to solve the problem of the traffic. They have no traffic pattern plan for anybody that wants to go to school there. It's kind of like the airport, and you build a house next to it. They built a school, but they didn't have a traffic plan there, and they still don't. But I'm all for the church because I attend there occasionally. I was there Sunday. But anyway, I wouldn't approve this, or I wouldn't even bring it a second reading or anything until somebody comes up with a new plan and shows you their old plan that they already had, which was a great big plan. And I'm sure Art's got something to say about it, but fine and dandy. I'm just telling you what's happening. I'm there every morning.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
May I ask
Yeah,
a question, please?
sure.
With this request for change, would this be a step towards getting the Center Street and 27 light? I know that's highway to be a turning lane put in, because that's where the traffic is. That's the backup. It's not necessarily the school.
Yeah, we're not going to
That's
have
there.
any, are you talking, a turning lane
A
on
turning
27?
lane on 27 and Center. That's where the issue is. It's not
You got
the
the
school.
electric station right there.
No. It's no turning lane, a left signal on either direction on Center Street. If you're coming on Center to 27, either way, there's not a turning lane to turn left.
Turning lane, there's no light.
Excuse me, thank you. There's no signal to turn left.
So anything we do in that intersection, even on our streets, because it intersects with 27, we'll have to work through DOT on that.
That's what I'm asking. Is that something that could be considered?
We would need to get through with DOT.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Art. I want one more thing. So you're going to close that road, maybe. I own on both sides of the road of Center Street to the trail. Will y'all close that for me? Think about that.
Other public comment? Go ahead.
Well, let me say, first of all, I'm sympathetic to Mr. Polk's position. He's both a neighbor and a friend, too, so I'm very sympathetic to that position. We're in a very difficult situation because one thing when I talked to the city about the melon patch, when they said they want to make a move downtown, I said, I'm open to that, but I said the challenge is we're moving further up the street, and we already have 600 kids going across the road, so we have to do something to restrict that traffic. I remember the event 3 years ago, but I don't remember signing a vacation or anything for any utilities there. So I don't know that that was followed through. I remember we had the conversation, but okay.
That's my recollection. You wouldn't have had to
You brought a
necessarily.
presentation to us. I was on maybe it was the year before I got on the commission, so it had been about 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
Where you talked about a large campus.
Yeah, the problem is like on Sundays, and I'm going to say that it is a safety concern. I saw it happen yesterday. When we purchased the Christian Science building, we have turned that into like a weight athletic facility. I saw somebody yesterday, what happens is the people get up there by Beth Shalom or get there by Melon Patch and they start coming down that road. They just pump the brakes at the traffic light, at the stoplight, the stop sign, and just keep going. I have twice seen kids almost get splattered by cars. So it is, I agree with Bill, that's very crazy at 8:30 and 3 o'clock. We have a problem there that we need to address. I don't disagree with that at all. But I do disagree. We have problems all throughout the day. And if I were to bring the preschool people here, I've got the school here, we have people that just come barreling through there at all kind of times of the days. Now, we do what we can to get the kids across there, but we do have a safety issue with that thing. And if we don't close it, then we need to do some major restriction. But we do have a problem, a major safety problem there. I don't have a great idea on that, but when we made a contract on the melon patch, that changed everything. I never had the melon patch until just a few months ago. So now we're going to make a different plan now if we do go through with buying the melon patch. So I'm willing to work with Bill, willing to work with the city, but we need to do something because it is a major safety concern there.
So currently, just as Mr. Polk was indicating, that from Line Street to Main Street, that technically has been closed, and you could have.
I've never signed a vacation easement. Well, no, we did, because when we,
Approved by the city of Leesburg.
yeah, but there's utilities on there. When we got the High Street section that goes up to the brick wall, we signed a bunch of stuff on that.
So two different cases, you wouldn't have had to sign anything. Just
Okay.
like in this situation, this ordinance doesn't require the First Baptist Church to sign off on it because
Okay.
you own the property, or the church owns the property on both sides.
Right.
So the law is that when that right of way is vacated, the owners it's split down the middle.
Oh, I got you.
So
Okay.
you automatically get that. So that's silent in the ordinance. So
Okay.
if we did that in the past, you wouldn't have done that. What we would have done in that ordinance was create a utility easement, or existing utilities in are protected. So like I say, I remember the conversation. I remember the displays. We'll double check the record to see what we did do. And go from there. And we can modify the ordinance on the 23rd accordingly. And that may be, we only need to vacate the line to center. I also talked with Mr. Harris, so he's going to make a presentation to the commission about their plans, which was going to be for second reading. So that was the public hearing, and that's when we're advertised. So I assume that there'll just be more people here. So we've got a little bit of homework, so we'll double check those issues and report back on the 23rd accordingly.
That sounds good.
I was on the commission when Art did the presentation. I remember well. I am perfectly fine with Line Street to Main. I think the commission gave them the nod on that. We did have some discussion on the line to center. We didn't, nothing binding, but just my recollection of that.
So who's doing the presentation?
Art did.
The church will do a
couple years
presentation
ago.
on their plans on the 23rd.
But he
On Line Street too, so it affects me also. That way too.
I'd just like to add, I'm in support, and I just would hope that we contact the residents there, like we stated.
We
and
will do
that's
that as well
fine.
before
Yeah,
the 23rd.
that's good.
Any other public?
And while he's coming to the microphone, one more comment. Is there, I looked at the maps, is there any way to create a new road or route something through there? I mean, I know that's not as near as easy as it sounds, but is there, I'll just throw that out for an idea.
I'm going to say no.
I know it's complicated. I just throw that out as an idea to
Because all
make-
that's private property around there, so.
Well, I realize okay. Just an idea to accommodate the church and keep the peace with everybody.
Before speaking, may I add on to that? That one light at the auto zone and that little shop next to the thing, that's used to be a thorough street back in the day, and that's been closed off to property. So that's just something to think about. That's a traffic light is sitting there to take you right into Palm Plaza, and if you go straight, you're only in the auto zone. You can go straight to 13th Street, and that was it. Just a thought. Pep Boy, excuse me. Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Greg Freskin. I'm the principal at First Academy, and I've been there. This is my 32nd year. When I came in 1993, we had 165 kids, and there were probably about 50 or 60 in the preschool. And now we have 520 students in the school and 120 in the preschool. So Mr. Polk is right. It does get very congested in there in the morning, and that's why we wanted present this project, because with our acquisition of the adjacent properties to First Academy, there was a house that we bought that we tore down, and with the recent acquisition of Melon Patch, I think we can address a lot of the concerns that Mr. Polk has in trying to create new traffic patterns, because of the land that we now have will allow us to do some better things with that. I was unaware that line to Main had been closed. I was not aware of that. In the mornings, it does get very congested, but the speeding is also bad during the day. And there are people that come from Main Street down 13th, and we often see people as kids are crossing the crosswalk, coming very fast through that area. I met with a representative of the Leesburg Police Department. They were not able to put a camera up for us to keep that speed down, because they did traffic studies and because we have stop signs at either end of the block, they slow down to the stop sign, but then they speed up in the middle and then slow down at the next stop sign. So right in the middle where the kids are crossing in the crosswalk becomes a very dangerous area. But it's not fast enough to warrant a camera. Apparently the speed does not get raised up high enough. So for instance, some schools got one camera, like St. Paul's, because it goes directionally, and in one direction the speeds were bad, the other direction coming off of 27 it was not. So and some schools got two cameras because both ways were very, very fast. But First Academy didn't get any cameras, and I am concerned about the speed of people coming down that road during the school hours.
Was there a reason, again, why you didn't get cameras?
They said that the speeds did not reach high enough.
Each school zone had to do a traffic study, and they didn't, in order to qualify. And
right. So you didn't qualify.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Any other comments?
I don't have a solution. I'm sensitive to the camera because we put cameras, or we voted to support cameras on every public school in the city.
We did there was 9 schools, I believe, Chief, correct? And every school.
I'm just looking. I guess I'm looking for creativity to help. Help.
Stop idiots. I mean, you know, there's always an idiot.
Yeah, the state statute has a threshold that we did a test on last year. So that particular area did not meet the threshold required by the state statute, is why they're not there.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other public comment? Any other comments from the commission? You know, we get some.
As the other current person that is on 13th Street, I am Dustin Levine, the executive director of the Melon Patch Players. I want to back them that is a very dangerous area. And it might not have shown in the tests that were done, but I watch people go there and, I mean, they zip through. I watched one that may have been drunk going like opposite sides. So there is a definite concern on safety. I think the only reason it didn't go to center the last time was because we were there, but without us being there, I would say that it's something to very consider. I mean, I worry about the kids that are there. So just wanted to put that out there, that it wasn't just the church saying that, but, you know, someone else as well.
So if 13th is the north-south, so on the east side of 13th, at the corner of Center, and the church owns all the way to Center Street?
Synagogue. That's the Jewish synagogue.
So you don't own all the way to Center Street?
But we are talking to the Jewish synagogue.
Okay, but you don't?
We do not own that, but we own everything up to that.
Up to that, and on the west side, all the way up to Bill's property. Okay. So this will come back to us the 23rd. Personally, I want to think a little bit about this. I'm not so sure, given that I'd like some more information. If we allowed you to close 13th 3 or 4 years ago, and yet you didn't, I'm not sure that I want to close Moore Road now. I'm not. But I'd like some more detailed information on that. But any other comments?
I mean, I'm completely comfortable closing line, whether we have to reapprove it or not. Completely comfortable closing from Line to Main Street.
Correct. We've already done that. I think.
Well, whether it was done, or whether we vote again, but
right.
There is some issues on Line to Center.
Yes. So Grant will get back to us with the legal standing of that before the.
Yes, sir. We'll check into all of that stuff and be able to address that when we get back.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? Any other public comment? All right. Again, that'll be on 923. Someone please introduce 6B3.
I'll introduce 6B3 to be read by title only.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, amending the city code ordinances by amending Chapter 5, Section 5-6, consumption of and open containers prohibited on public property, exceptions, amending Section 5-6.2, consumption of or possession of alcohol in open containers near stores selling alcoholic beverages, amending Chapter 18, streets, sidewalks, and other public places, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, providing for inclusion in the Code of Ordinances, and providing for an effective period and effective date.
This will lay over
923.
923 also. Any comments from the commission?
I do. This is our entertainment district that's downtown. And from talking to the city manager, I don't think we've had any issues in the past year. So I was going to see, so this doesn't have to come back, but we can always pull it in a future date if we could remove the sunset provision in the ordinance, if the commission would be in favor of that.
Or at least make it more than 1 year. I mean,
We can pull it anytime. If we have an issue, the commission at any point can pull it. But this way it doesn't have to keep coming back to us on a yearly basis if staff or the commission sees fit.
I would support that.
Okay. So I would.
Is this for
This is the downtown entertainment.
downtown only? It doesn't apply to other areas of the.
Just the downtown entertainment district.
And me personally, I would rather have the sunset clause in there, and that way makes it a little bit easier for us if this doesn't work out for some unforeseen problem. That I'd rather approve it every year, personally.
And I just say in the alternative, would you be comfortable with 2 or 3 years at a time? Or does not change your opinion?
In reality, it just saves staff from having to do this every year. And if staff sees an issue, whether it be their chief or city manager, it can always be put on the agenda for us to discuss. And terminated or to adjust. That's my.
Do you have any comments about?
No, I don't. I think either way you want to do it would be fine. As Commissioner Reisman's saying, if you remove the sunset, then the city can always change the law and pass an ordinance to prohibit the downtown entertainment. Get rid of the downtown entertainment district for open containers and that kind of thing. So, however you want to do it, I think is fine mechanically. But as Commissioner Reisman said, it's something that could be pulled and sort of terminated if the city believes that law's not going well.
Well, wouldn't it have to be an incident or something that would cause something to?
Incident.
Because didn't we already vote on this earlier?
This was approved last year, and
Right.
it has a
So
1
it's
year.
every year time come up. But any incidents that happened from last year to this year?
None,
Okay.
none of significance.
The sunset just allows, if we do not say yes at an official meeting, then it would go away.
It would
So we have
automatically-
to look at it once a
Every year.
year, the way it's set up right
Gotcha.
now. And personally, I just like that avenue. So it'll come back to us on 9/23?
Yes. Yeah. Or we would make, okay.
Or you can
Make a motion
to amend it.
So I'll make a motion to amend it and remove the sunset clause.
Okay, second.
Okay, so discussion on that amendment? Anybody got
thought-
comments?
Okay, so we're voting now to go forward and not have the vote every
So
year?
what we're saying is that if
We changed the sunset law.
we're going to take the sunset out, so this just is, we have an entertainment district, and you can drink in the entertainment district. Removing the sunset just means that we would have to bring it back in full and vote against it if we wanted to not have the entertainment.
Commissioner, this is a procedural vote.
Mhm. I'm with you.
Any other comments? Okay, so you made him. We have a motion, we have a second to remove the sunset clause from this ordinance. Roll call.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
No. So this will come back to us on 9/23 for a second reading.
Yes.
And that will be the amended version where there's no sunset act.
Yes.
Okay?
James Hopgood, 112 South Fifth Street. I guess my confusion is I've looked at all the zoning maps and I don't see the terminology entertainment district anywhere on that. So I'm asking. It says Central Business District. It's labeled in pink. Is that what we're referring to? For its clarification. I just don't know what the limitation.
Yeah.
Where does that start and stop?
Entertainment district is also known as. There's a map it refers to the CBD only, and then there's a map in the ordinance that further closes down the area in the CBD where open containers can be had. And by memory, it was roughly Main Street, Meadow to Magnolia, Canal to 9th.
Gotcha.
That box.
Went a little deeper on Second, maybe down to.
It did.
Yeah, that's all.
Yes,
It's just a clarification question.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
there is an existing map.
Yeah.
So the map will be made part of the ordinance.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking at what's available on the general GIS map on on the city on county, and I don't see it. So it's all. I was just asking for clarification, and I'm in full support of it. So.
Okay. We'll move on to item 6C, non-routine items. We have none. Informational reports. We have none. City attorney items.
No reports this evening. Thank you.
City manager items.
I have no items for you this evening.
Roll call.
Commissioner Peterson?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Berry? I have one question. I have one thing I'd like to ask. I just want to be clear on this, that I think it was in our packet last month of the listings. Is this from you, Andy? Can you tell me? I'm not sure where. I think it was in the packet for proof of publication. Was this the listings in a?
I think that was the properties.
Yeah, the properties, and this is District 1. So have they been listed? I'm just not clear.
Nothing's been listed. I'll look at that
Okay,
after the meeting.
all
with
righty.
you.
That's all I need to ask. Sorry, I could ask that. And just again, I just would like to thank everyone came out to the hurricane preparedness week before last. It was a great success. Lots of information was provided, and I thank all that participated. Thank you.
Commissioner Connell?
Nothing.
Commissioner Eastman?
A couple things. When will the CDCs be doing their presentations?
We have the Leesburg CDC, I think, scheduled for the first October meeting, and we're still working to get coordinated with West Leesburg CDC.
I want to thank Andy for getting the Haley Strong shirts for all of us. Reminding everyone the Blue 5K for the Leesburg Police Department is on 9/21 at the airport. If you don't come out and walk it or run it, you can still come out and support it. And then, if anything, tonight shows just how great our staff is all the way from the top all the way down to the people down the line. Is just the public comments just goes to show how hard our staff works. And then a lot of times we get calls, people blow up our phones, and if we can't handle the issue, then we blow up city manager's phone, and then he blows up the department head's phone, and the staff is always really quick to address the issues. And I think that just goes to show how great our staff is here in the city of Leesburg, and just want to say thank you for all the hard work they do, and thank you to Deputy City Manager for your monthly report. That is very informative. Thank you. That'll be it for me.
Mayor Burry?
Yeah, one thing tonight, we have had on several occasions people come to the mic during public comment wanting to know what the plan is for the homeless situation in downtown and in the city of Leesburg. And I would encourage folks to come out at the next scheduled meeting. We are going to address that and come and listen. That's all I got.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Done.